Happy lunch hour, gang. Albeit a little late because this one's going to take me a bit to edit. So, yeah, sorry I'm late, but it's what happens when you got to get all the information put together. So maybe you've seen this, maybe you haven't. I know a lot of you guys just cannot stand watching the news. But, hey, Kamala Harris is the Democrat nominee for president. Oh, but we have this little problem. Her record is not exactly something we really want the public to know about. Okay, let's scrub the internet. This is what they're doing. They are trying to get rid of any of the evidence of her being a socialist, communist, progressive liberal. They want to portray her, just like they did with Joe 4 years ago, as a moderate. The problem is the cackling hen opens her mouth too much. And unfortunately for them, the internet never forgets. So I thought I'd go over this a little bit and give you the little bit of who Kamala Harris really is. And what I'd advise is share this with your kids. They might find this really interesting. Your neighbors, your church, anybody that goes, gee, I'm so happy they got rid of Joe and they're bringing in Kamala. Maybe a few facts might change their mind. Because what I want to use is stuff that came straight out of her own mouth. Now, we can start with the biggest one that is being scrubbed all over the place, and this is just absolutely hilarious, that Kamala Harris has never been the border czar. You know, yet you can go, we've all seen this in print media, on videos, on news programs, the reporters referring to her as the border czar. But no, now the exact same people are saying she wasn't. MRC Newsbusters put up a great clip of this morning showing the reporter referring to her as the border czar, and then yesterday and today saying they've never been the border czar. You know, same persons, you know, recanting exactly what they said themselves. Axios, you know, good liberal website, has said that, oh no, she was never called the border czar. And of course she got fact-checked all over the place, community notes on Twitter saying, really, because on such and such date, your reporters actually posted this article. And you can look that up all over the place. You know, matter of fact, you know, Kamala Harris is so good about this, she doesn't even believe that the illegals are criminals.
It is wrong to somehow suggest that an undocumented immigrant is a criminal. I've personally prosecuted everything from low-level offenses to homicides. I know what a crime looks like. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
So you continue on and you go, well, let's see. Now they're trying to pretend that Kamala Harris is not the most liberal U.S. senator, or at least has been. If you go back to govtrack.us, okay, which is a watchdog group, if you will, that ranks all the senators, all the congressmen, gives them grades. In 2019, they ranked Kamala Harris as the most liberal senator, further left than Bernie Sanders, further left than Elizabeth Warren. Guess what? That's been scrubbed from their website. Okay. How about the next one? That Kamala Harris, this is what they're doing now. She's never said she wanted to defund the police. She's never said she wanted to defund Border Patrol and ICE. Oh, really?
So at its essence, Andy, it really, I believe, is about reimagining public safety and how we achieve it. You know, for far too long, the status quo thinking has been to believe that by putting more police on the street, you're going to have more safety. And that's just wrong.
I said you might want to share this one with your kids. Hey, Zoomers, you want to know what your potential or what your Democrat nominee for president thinks of you? Watch this. You might enjoy it. This is what she said herself, specifically about you.
What's the other thing we know about this population? And it's a specific phase of life. Remember, age is more than a chronological fact. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid. That is why we put them in dormitories, and they have a resident assistant. They make really bad decisions.
Oh, and by the way, one other nice little media piece today. Donald Trump wasn't shot. Who Kamala Harris really is. Okay? She is the descendant of slave owners. Hey, Black America, I'd like you to notice this. Her family, her great-great-great-great-grandfather was an Irish slave owner who owned 1,100 slaves in Jamaica. Kamala Harris, how proud are they of him? Kamala Harris's father was named after him. So all this time, her pretending to be black, pretending to know the black culture, no. Her family, how do they put it? Built that on your backs? Yeah, no. And all the time you're screaming for reparations, go ask her. She's got direct descendants who own slaves. I don't. And I'm white. Okay? How about the next one? Illegals. Somewhere between 12 and 20 million people have crossed the southern border from it's nearly 190 countries. Almost every country in the world has sent people over to the United States. Countries are emptying prisons. Countries are emptying insane asylums and sending their people here. That's all under her command, as borders are. That's why they're trying to get rid of it. How about the Ukraine war, right? That was the other great thing that she was supposed to take care of as vice president. On February 23rd, 2022, at the Munich Security Conference, Kamala Harris said, quote, "The allied relationship is such that we have agreed that the deterrence effect of sanctions is a meaningful one." Right? Basically, she came back home and said, no problem. Sanctions will stop Russia. The next day, Putin invaded. Just saying. Okay? That's how in tune she is with foreign policy. You get a kick out of the left disparaging J.D. Vance as Trump's vice presidential pick for having no political experience, right? He was just elected to the Senate in 2022. He's got 18 months as a senator. Kind of somewhere around the same amount of time that Barack Obama had as a senator, as he was at the top of the ticket. But so let's take a look at Kamala Harris's vast political experience. She's only won one election in her career, and that was as senator in 2016. And because of California's jungle primary laws, that was against another Democrat. She wasn't even running against somebody who had opposing ideas as her. You could go back and say, well, she had to run for office to become Attorney General. Yeah, she did. She won in 2010 and she won in 2014. Okay. Yeah. In 2010, in heavily Democrat California, she won her election over the Republican by 0.8%. Even Californians don't like her. Okay. In her career as AG, she incarcerated over 1,900 people on marijuana charges, not distribution, not dealing, smoking marijuana, okay? But then when she was asked if she ever used it recreationally herself, she just laughed at the reporter. Rules for thee and not for me, huh? 1,900 people went to jail for doing the exact same thing that she does, that she prosecuted them for. How about the fact that she had put people on death row or in jail for life for crimes they didn't commit? She falsely accused and got convicted people on murder charges. And then when the cases were overturned in appeals court and the Supreme Court, she refused to release them from prison because they were still free slave labor for her. That must go back to her roots from her great-great-great-great-grandfather. She likes slave labor. Hey, Hispanic community, are you listening? Who do you think the next set of slaves under the democratic rule is going to be? After all, they have come out and wondered, how did she put it? Who's going to clean your toilets? Wonder, okay? Give you this about Kamala Harris. Never in her life has she held a private sector job. She's been a government employee her entire life, or at least her entire working life. I don't know, unless you can consider crawling around on her knees working in the private sector, but that'd still be off the books, okay? How about the fact that she dropped out of the 2020 presidential campaign before the Iowa primary because she couldn't garner 2% support in any polls? How about this? She has never received a single vote in even a presidential primary. Obviously, this time, she didn't get any votes. They all went to Biden. Nobody was allowed to challenge him. In 2020, when she ran against him, she did not get one vote, even after she dropped out. You know how, we'd see all the stories that, oh, Nikki Haley got so-and-so amount of votes, or Ramaswamy got somewhat votes. Nikki Haley did not get, Kamala Harris did not get one single vote in the Iowa caucuses, in the New Hampshire primaries. She got 0. She has never, not one single person in the United States has ever been able to say, that's who I want to be my president. And remind me again, who's the threat to democracy? She'll run on her record, right? She's going to run away from Joe's. That's a lot of what they're trying to do with this. I want everybody to understand one thing. The vice president is the president of the Senate. Anytime she tries to run away from any one of the numerous failed Biden policies, remind her that she owns them. In the Senate, as her time as vice president so far, she has cast 33 tie-breaking votes to further the Biden agenda. Therefore, she owns it. Hey, Kamala, please run on your record. Pinball.